In India, we face a frequent challenge while sharing the gospel. People just charge at the missionaries, they point to them and say that those who came to India, they adopted deceptive ways to evangelize, and they just deceive the people through their unethical evangelical methods. But is that true? They also say that the missionaries who came, they took advantage of the poor and then just shoved their ideologies into them. But this is actually not true. What did really the missionaries do in India? What was the reformation that they brought in India? Was all the claims which they claim in the news is true, or what does the historical evidence say? Hello everyone, this is Michelle, and today's episode we are going to take a look at what was the impact the missionaries had brought in the society of India back in the 18th and 19th century. It's got a very important episode because we will know what the missionaries really did to the country of India. Let's take a look. Never mind the accusations, charges, or the blames that are made. Because when we look at the evidences had really what the missionaries had done to our country, it's really amazing. It's really incredible. Because no matter they can write about articles, release pamphlets, they can post content in YouTube claiming that the missionaries really took advantage of the poor. They used deceptive methods. They persuaded the people into Christianity. They lied, but it cannot be true because the evidences says otherwise. Now we are going to take a look at some stunning evidences because the evidence really reflect what was the impact that the missionaries had brought to our country, India. Now, first, it is undeniable that the missionaries were the people who were pioneer in bringing a huge change in the life of an Indian woman. Now, we are going to take a look at three different examples where the status of women was too bad in the 19th and 18th century, but and how the missionaries played an important role in bringing and in empowering their life or shaping the life of women in India. Number one, women education. It was the missionaries who introduced education to women in India, and the amount of change which they brought in the life of women is just really huge. But to know what was the impact they brought in the life of women, we need to take a look at what was the scenario before the missionaries started to give education for the women. Julius Richter, a writer, in his book a History of Missions in India, which was actually published in the year 1908, he writes in his book as, according to one calculation, which there is, however, no means of checking, there were at that time only 400 girls able to read in the whole of India. Now, thinking about the population of India around 150 200 years back and comparing that only 400 women were able to read and write is still a huge number. Just 400 in an entire nation is something which we can see that education for women was clearly prohibited. This was because of the rigid caste system which was followed in the country. People believed that women were prohibited from learning or getting educated, and they were not allowed to share their opinion, they were not allowed to share their thoughts, but rather they were just oppressed, and their thoughts were never considered at all. So it was the missionaries who decided that there must be equality among all the people. Before that, the concept of equality and fraternity did not exist in India. It was the missionaries who introduced equality among them. So, what they started to do is that they started to establish exclusive schools for girls, and later on, they were able to give them education for college and so on. So, the first girls' school was started by a missionary, Henry Baker, at Kerala in the name of Baker's Memorial Girls High School. This was the first school of its kind established in India. And then in 1821, missionary Mary Ann Cook opened a school for women in Kolkata. She went on to establish more than 30 girls' schools. This paved the way for women to learn formal education and to pursue a degree, and then they can go for a job, and they can raise up their voice in the near future. So, this is how women started to grow. Women started to be empowered in our country, and that was the beginning of our country to produce such powerful women in the 19th and 20th century. It was all started by the effort of missionary who started to give education for the women. Number two, back then, before the 19th century, the state of Kerala and surrounding cities were called the Kingdom of Travancore. The rules and regulations implemented on the people were really worse. What happened was there was a weird caste system that the upper caste people had a rule and regulation saying that the lower caste people who belong to a particular caste called as the Shanar caste were not permitted to wear upper clothes and come out to the public. They believed that this was a way by the lower caste can honor the upper caste people. It was really a bad sight to see, because just imagine women going out in the public, going to public places without their upper body being covered. So there was a Protestant movement which was going on in the 19th century for almost half a decade. And after all these continuous protests, in July 26, 1859, under pressure from Charles Trevelyan, the Madras governor back then, the King of Travancore was forced to issue a proclamation for the right for Shana caste women to cover their upper body. Now, the most beautiful part here is that the proclamation was issued saying that they were asked to wear like the Christians. Isn't it incredible to hear, right? The third thing which we are going to see is Female Infanticide Prevention Act. This act was passed in the year 1870 by the British because back then in the 19th century, in certain states, there were certain cultural pressures, and due to those cultural pressures, people are forced to kill their girl babies. This was because they saw a girl baby as a curse rather than seeing a baby as a blessing. They always wanted to have male heirs because they thought that if a girl is left unmarried, it was a shame to their family. And at the time, the dowry system was very rigorous, that it was too painful for a family to grow a girl and to give the necessary dowry for her to get married. So people preferred to have male child, and so that even before the age of 1, they would just kill a girl baby. That literally sounds like evil, right? Now, this evil was put to an end mainly by the effort of a missionary, William Carey. William Carey played a very crucial role to push the British to pass this act in the year 1870. This was called as the Female Infanticide Prevention Act. Carey collected evidences about the act of killing female child. What he did was he started to forward information about this practice of killing female infants through pamphlets, through journals and news articles. And that's how he pressurized the authorities to intervene. And later on in the year 1870, the Female Infanticide Prevention Act was passed by the British government. And from then on, the act of killing a female child was made a criminal offense. And that's how the missionaries brought a change to the concept of killing female infanticides. This is how missionaries changed the life of women in India. If we take a look at the life of a woman before 19th century and after 19th century, we can see the drastic change and how so many women started to rise up, started to shine out in the country, and how their voices was started to hear in the 20th and 19th century. That's what the missionaries did to the life of Indian women. They were the pioneer of social reformation in the country. India became a country from not recognizing a woman to a country who produced powerful women whose voice is being heard all throughout the world. And all credits goes to the missionaries who paved the way for such a great thing. Today, missionaries can be accused saying that they used deceptive methods, but it cannot neglect the fact that they were the key. They played the key role in bringing reformation in India. Being a Christian does not mean it's a change of name or just a change of a caste or religion, but it means that being a light to the people around us, and that's what exactly the missionaries did. Let me quote a beautiful verse for you. Psalms 82, verse number 3 and 4 says, "Defend the poor and fatherless, do justice to the afflicted and needy, deliver the poor and needy, free them from the hand of the wicked." This is exactly what the missionaries did to the society. If it's God's will, we'll meet you in another episode and we'll share what were the other reformations that the missionaries brought to the country of India. God bless you.